My brother picked up my daughter's gift and sneered cheap trash junk, then hurled it straight into her face at his own birthday party. Our parents just smirked. I didn't argue. I'm Nadia Crane, 38, single mom, remote software engineer making $115,000 a year. For 8 years, I paid my parents' rent and loaned my brother $70,000 to open his pottery shop in Barrio Viejo, Tucson, his 2019 BMW as collateral. I pulled the plug, repossessed the BMW, and said, "From today, you're on your own." He thought I was bluffing. Until everything vanished. Grab your popcorn and smash subscribe if your family ever used you as their personal ATM, because the fallout was a total disaster. 6 years ago, Gage walked into my house with a glossy color plan. He was 27, fresh off another dead-end job, and his eyes lit up like he'd discovered gold. The pages showed hand-thrown mugs, custom planters, and a storefront in Barrio Viejo, prime tourist spot in Tucson. He talked numbers, startup costs, $70,000 break-even in 18 months, profit margin 30%. I sat at the kitchen table while Kendall colored in the living room, and he slid the folder across like it was a winning lottery ticket. He'd been couch surfing for months after the last gig at a warehouse fell through. Every week he had a new idea: food truck, vape shop, now pottery. I'd heard it all before, but this time he brought spreadsheets, actual projections. He said the BMW 2019 parked outside could secure the loan if I co-signed. I hesitated. My divorce had finalized 2 years earlier, and money was finally stable. Remote coding paid $115,000. No office politics, no daycare rush. But Gage kept pushing. Family helps family. We met Lane Foster downtown the next week. Lane laid out the terms clean and simple: 5.5% interest, $1,400 monthly principal, due in 5 years, full title on the BMW as collateral. Gage signed fast, pen scratching loud in the quiet office. I added my name below, heart thudding but steady. The dealership transferred the car to his name the same afternoon. He drove off, waving, radio blasting. First 6 months ran smooth. Payments hit my account on the first automatic transfer, no chase. He texted photos, shelves lined with glazed bowls, tourists snapping pics, chalkboard menu advertising desert bloom collection. The shop's Instagram grew to 2,000 followers. He posted stories of firing kilns at midnight, clay under his nails, grinning like a kid. I forwarded the receipts to Lane, who nodded approval during quarterly check-ins. Then the texts slowed. 1 month became 2. I called, he blamed supply chain delays, said clay prices doubled. Another month, no payment. I drove to Barrio Viejo unannounced. The front door was locked, mid-afternoon, lights off, dust on the display bowls. Gage answered his phone from a bar patio, voice loose with beer. "Market's slow, sis. Give it time." I reminded him about the BMW. He laughed it off. Meanwhile, rent for mom and dad kept pulling from my checking, $1,300 every first like clockwork. Clyde's diabetes meds ate half their social security, and Marlene still rang up groceries part-time at the Southside Fries. Their fridge stayed stocked, AC ran cold, Wi-Fi never blinked. I told myself it was temporary. Gage would catch up. Casey caught me at the virtual water cooler one Thursday. We'd been pair programming since the pandemic, 2 single moms trading memes between sprints. She saw the transfer alerts on my shared screen. "You're bankrolling the whole crew," she said, no sugar. "That pottery dream. It's a money pit." I brushed her off. Gage was family, blood doesn't default. She just raised an eyebrow and muted her mic. I kept the autopays running. Kendall asked why Uncle Gage never visited anymore. I said he was busy building something big. She nodded, went back to sketching desert flowers on scrap wood. The kiln in Barrio Viejo stayed cold. I reserved a table at El Charro, but Gage said he was busy. That afternoon, I spotted his private party pics on Facebook at Mom and Dad's. Kendall saw the same post and wouldn't let it go. She clutched the wooden box she'd been carving after school for 4 solid months. Gage's name in bold letters, desert cacti etched along the edges, lid, hinged with tiny brass screws she saved allowance to buy. Uncle Gage has to see it in person, she insisted, eyes wide. I sighed, grabbed the keys, and we drove the 20 minutes to South Tucson. Their street looked the same, cracked sidewalks, chain-link fences, Mom's plastic flamingos faded pink. Cars crammed the driveway, cousins I hadn't seen in years, neighbors from the old block. Gage had strung chili lights across the carport, folding tables, loaded with tamales and Corona. Music thumped from a Bluetooth speaker. Kendall hopped out before I parked, box tucked under her arm like treasure. We stepped through the side gate. Gage stood center stage in a new linen shirt, beer in hand, laughing with a circle of buddies. Kendall marched straight up. "Happy 33rd, Uncle Gage." She held the box high. He glanced down, smirk curling. "What's this?" He flipped the lid open, peeked inside at the empty velvet lining meant for his watch collection. Then he snorted. "Handmade junk, worthless." Before anyone processed, he hurled the box straight into Kendall's face. Wood cracked against her cheek, brass hinge scraping skin. She stumbled back, box clattering to the concrete. The yard froze. Clyde looked up from his lawn chair, insulin pump clipped to his belt, and just chuckled under his breath. Marlene, wiping salsa from her fingers, shook her head. "Kids these days always with the crafts." A cousin pulled out her phone, started filming. Within seconds, the family group chat blew up, laughing emojis. "Real family right here. Sis and niece not invited, classic." Kendall's lip trembled, a thin line of blood where the hinge caught. I knelt, picked up the splintered lid, saw her 4 months of late nights flash across the broken grain. Gage turned back to his friends like nothing happened. I stood, phone already in hand. Snapped a quick photo of the BMW parked crooked on the lawn, his name on the title, my collateral. Then the latest rent statement on my banking app, $1,300 due in 3 days. I typed one line into the group chat, attached both images, "You're on your own." Everything stops. Phones buzzed around the tables. Gage's head snapped toward me. "You're joking." I didn't answer. Kendall grabbed my sleeve and we walked out past the chili lights. The gate clanged shut behind us. In the car, she pressed tissue to her cheek, silent. I started the engine, tires crunching gravel. Gage's shouts faded as we hit the main road. Back home, I blocked the group chat. Kendall showered, came out with a butterfly bandage from the first aid kit. She set the broken box on her desk, stared at it a long time, then opened her laptop and started a new design, something sharper, no cacti. I logged into the bank, hovered over the autopay for Mom and Dad's rent. Finger paused, then clicked disable. Confirmation pinged, scheduled payment canceled. That night, Gage left 4 voicemails. First angry, then pleading. I deleted each one unheard. Kendall fell asleep with the desk lamp on, wood shavings still in her hair. I sat on the couch, stared at the dark screen, and felt the first real quiet in 8 years. The next morning, Lane Foster emailed the official demand letter. Subject line, notice of default, Gage Brooks loan. Attached PDF stamped red, 30-day cure period, already halfway burned. I forwarded it to the repo company Lane kept on retainer, same outfit that handled foreclosures for half the lenders in Pima County. They confirmed pickup for 10 sharp, no extensions. I brewed coffee, watched Kendall tape the splintered box back together with wood glue. She didn't speak, just sanded the rough edge where the hinge had torn. At 9:45, my phone buzzed with a live feed link from the repo driver. I clicked. Barrio Viejo sidewalk, pottery sign swinging. Gage paced out front in yesterday's shirt, yelling into his cell. The flatbed rolled up, 2 guys in high-vis vests hopped out. Gage lunged for the driver door. Repo man sidestepped, hooked the BMW in under 3 minutes. Chain clinked, engine revved, car lifted like a toy. Tourists stopped, phones out. Gage chased the truck halfway down the block before it turned the corner. Auction posted online that afternoon. Starting bid $25,000, reserve none. Bids trickled in from Phoenix dealers, a collector in Sedona. Final hammer at 35,000 wired to Lane's trust account by close of business. Deficiency balance 45,000 now unsecured. Lane filed the judgment lien against Gage's future wages standard procedure. I opened the banking app, scrolled to recurring transfers. Mom and Dad's rent $1,300 due in 48 hours. Electric, water, internet another 400 combined. I hovered over each thumb steady, then toggled off. Confirmation banners flashed green, cancelled. First time in 8 years the chain broke. Gage started calling at noon. First ring went to voicemail. His voice cracked background noise of the empty shop. Sis, we can talk this out. Deleted. Second call, angrier. You're tanking everything I built. Deleted. By evening, 7 more pleading, bargaining threats about telling Kendall I was heartless. I let the inbox fill, battery died overnight. 2 days later, the landlord posted a 3-day pay or quit on the pottery door. Gage scraped together partial rent from credit cards bought a week. Customers dwindled, word spread on Yelp about the drama repo. Shelves sat half-empty, kiln cold since the power got cut for non-payment. Gage tried pop-up sales at the weekend market, wheels of clay cracking in the sun. Landlord changed the locks exactly 14 days after the notice. Gage showed up with a duffel, found the chain, kicked the door once, then walked away. I printed the auction receipt, slipped it into an envelope with the deficiency notice. Mailed it, certified to Mom and Dad's address, no note, just facts. Kendall asked if Grandma and Grandpa would be okay. I said they had options. She nodded, went back to carving a new piece. Harder lines this time. Lane called end of week. Judgment recorded. Garnish ready when he earns again. I thanked him, hung up. Gage's last voicemail, time-stamped 2 a.m. Sobbing, promising to pay double if I restarted the rent. I cleared the queue, blocked the number. The house stayed quiet, no more auto drafts pulling at dawn. 3 weeks later, pounding hit the door at 1 a.m. Kendall bolted upright in bed, eyes wide, then scrambled into her closet, knees to chest among hanging clothes. I slipped out of my room, pressed against the hallway wall, heart slamming as each knock landed like a hammer on wood. The Ring app glowed on my phone, front porch feed live. Gage swayed under the light shirt, untucked bottle dangling from one hand. He slammed the door again. You ruined my life. His voice slurred through the panel, echoing down the quiet street. Kendall whimpered from the closet. I whispered through the crack. Stay put, lock the bedroom. She nodded, face pale in the dark. Another bang, fist this time rattling the frame. Gage kicked the baseboard. Open up, we're blood. The camera captured every stagger, every curse, timestamp rolling. I dialed 911, voice low. Intruder at my address, pounding door, intoxicated. Operator asked if we were safe inside. Yes. Locked camera recording. She dispatched units, ETA 4 minutes. Sirens approached fast. Gage heard turn, tried the knob one last time. 2 patrol cars pulled up, lights flashing red-blue across the lawn. Officers ordered him back, hands visible. He resisted, arms flailing until cuffs clicked. They loaded him into the back seat, bottle confiscated. One cop knocked gently. Ma'am, you okay? I opened a crack, showed ID. He reviewed the Ring footage on his tablet, nodded. We'll book him for disorderly. File the order tomorrow. Court clerk processed the restraining order by noon. 200 yards, no contact, effective immediately. Gage signed under duress at the station, eyes bloodshot. First violation came 2 nights later. Unknown number voicemail. Breathing heavy, then hang up. Traced to a burner at a gas station. Police issued citation, $500 fine, 90 days suspended if no repeat. I ordered smart locks online. August brand app controlled, arrived next day. Installed myself, drilled into the frame while Kendall held the level. Deadbolt, word, smooth chime confirming. She tested the code 3 times, fingers steady now. That night she left her desk lamp on, bulb casting soft glow under the door. Pattern held a full month, light on until dawn, closet door cracked open just in case. Gage's mugshot circulated, neighborhood watch app. Delivery drivers recognized him, refused packages to mom and dad's old address. Kendall started therapy sessions through school counselor, noted anxiety spikes around loud knocks. I attended parent night, learned breathing techniques to teach her. Ring alerts stayed armed, motion zones tight on the porch. One evening, unknown car idled across the street. Engine off, driver silhouette. I snapped photo, sent to police, non-emergency. Turned out Gage borrowing a friend's ride violation flagged another fine. Judge warned next breach means jail. He stopped showing up after that. Kendall's lamp finally clicked off on day 31. She emerged for breakfast, hair tousled, smiled small. I think we're good. I poured cereal, nodded. The house settled into new rhythm. No midnight pounds, no unknown calls. Smart lock beeped friendly each entry. Mom and Dad started showing up at the company gate during rush hour. Clyde balanced on his cane, rubber tip squeaking on sun-baked pavement. Marlene clutched a flattened cardboard sign inked in bold marker, "Ungrateful daughter." 4:45 p.m. engineers in hoodies and Nikes poured out, some pausing to read, others lifting phones. A white Tesla slowed at the curb, driver gawking. Security booth radio crackled. I watched the lobby monitor from the third floor, open office, HR already on Slack, gate incident. Escort I sent the external camera feed. 2 guards in navy polos stepped out, earpieces in badges flashing. "Sir, ma'am, private property. Move to the public sidewalk." Clyde's straightened voice rough from decades of unfiltered cigarettes. "She's my kid. Family matter." Marlene shoved the sign higher, nearly clipping a passing e-scooter. Guards flanked them, open palms guiding, no contact, just presence. They reached the property line. Verbal trespass warning delivered, return equals criminal trespass. Clyde grumbled about lawyers. Marlene folded the sign, tucked it under her arm. They shuffled to their rattling 2005 Corolla parked across the street, engine coughing alive. I forwarded the clip to HR that evening. Legal counsel drafted a cease and desist on company letterhead, emailed certified to the South Tucson address, rent still current then. Tracking confirmed, Marlene signed 2 days later. Subject: cease all workplace contact immediately. HR filed copy, in my record flagged for escalation. 1 month later, the landlord taped the 3-day pay or quit notice in red on the front door. Autopay had stopped weeks earlier. First cycle missed, second triggered default. Balance $2,600 plus penalties. Clyde left voicemail at reception. Tell Nadia her father's insulin costs money. Forwarded to HR, added to file. I stayed silent. 30-day eviction clock began with court filing. Sheriff's deputy posted the yellow final notice, bold print, lockout imminent. Moving day arrived cloudless. U-Haul idled in the cracked driveway, orange cord snaking to the garage for final boxes. Neighbors watched from behind blinds. Marlene packed faded photo albums into plastic tubs labeled in Sharpie. Clyde directed from a nylon chair on the porch, portable, oxygen humming. By noon, the house stood empty, keys on the counter, blinds half drawn. New tenants, a couple with a toddler and a lab, signed the lease that afternoon. Landlord swapped locks, forwarded mail to general delivery. They checked into Motel 6 off X Road, room 8, ground floor by the ice machine. $900 cash upfront for 30 nights, no card. Neon vacancy flickered through thin curtains. Marlene posted public on Facebook, daughter evicted her parents. Pray. Tagged my work profile. I screenshot, archived in HR. Clyde's glucose spiked on vending machine pastries. Urgent care bill hit $1,200, mailed collect to the motel. Gage activated Uber Eats on a cracked iPhone 8. Borrowed a dented 2008 Civic from a casino night buddy. Suction phone mount on dash, red delivery bag in back. Orders sparse, downtown salads, late night tacos. Tips averaged $3. Gas 40, daily. Net break even. He reclined the seat in Walmart Lots dollar store, blanket alarm for 4 a.m. runs. LA fitness trial lapsed when card declined. Security logged a second gate visit 3 weeks after the first. Marlene Solo smaller sign on printer paper, help your parents. Arrived 4:30 p.m. Just inside the line. Guards intercepted before exit rush. HR issued final trespass order copied to Tucson PD. Campus ban effective photo circulated to posts. Clyde tried my work email from library bounced. Subject logged. You'll regret. Motel manager knocked day 24 extension due noon. Funds short after ER copay. They loaded tubs into the Corolla trunk roped shut. Joined Gage at Walmart overnight. 3 and 2 cars windows cracked fog by dawn. Gage ran breakfast burritos returned with hash browns and senior coffee. Marlene scanned Indeed on cracked Android no cashier callbacks. I blocked all forwarding addresses to a P.O. box. Kendall asked once about grandparents over cereal. I said actions have outcomes. She nodded, sanded a new puzzle box, sliding panels, no nails. Security feeds stayed clean.